Ambassador Zixthra had studied every galactic database, every archaeological fragment, every whispered legend passed down through 1,000 civilizations. The pattern was undeniable, terrifying, and consistent across species that had never met each other. Stay away from the blue world. They guard something worse. The Velcorian crystal spoke of the Watchers who keep the darkness chained. The extinct Maradi had carved warnings into their final monuments. The bipeds stand sentinel over what must never wake. Even the energy beings of the astral collective, who existed beyond physical form, shuddered when discussing the third planet of Sol system. Now, as Zixthra's research vessel approached Earth's outer satellites, those warnings echoed in her mind. The humans had been remarkably accommodating to her request for archaeological surveys, almost suspiciously so. They granted her access to dig sites across their planet, provided guides, even offered refreshments that wouldn't poison her biochemistry. "Too easy," she muttered, her 4 eyes scanning the data streams from her equipment. The first dig site, in what humans called Egypt, yielded familiar results. Hieroglyphs that matched patterns found on dead worlds across the galaxy. Symbols that spoke of containment, of binding, of keeping something dormant. But it was the basement levels, far below what human archaeologists had discovered, that made her breath catch. The chamber was vast, its walls covered in the same universal warnings she'd seen scattered across the galaxy. But these weren't carved by ancient humans. The script was Zephyrian. The metal was Altarian polymer. The containment field generators bore the unmistakable energy signature of the long-dead Vorthan Empire. "Impossible," she whispered. These civilizations had existed millions of years apart, separated by vast distances. Yet here they were, their technologies working in harmony, all focused on a single sealed doorway at the chamber's center. Her guide, a pleasant human named Dr. Sarah Chun, appeared beside her. "Finding what you're looking for, Ambassador?" Zixthra spun around, her scales shifting to a defensive purple. You knew about this?" Dr. Chen nodded calmly. "We've always known. Every generation, we pass down the knowledge. We maintain the seals, upgrade the containment systems, add our own warnings to the galactic record." She gestured to the sealed door. "Want to know what's behind there?" "The warnings? They say your species guards something worse than yourselves. What could be worse than a species that wages war on its own kind?" A sad smile crossed Dr. Chen's face. "We learn from our mistakes, Ambassador. War, violence, destruction, those are just growing pains of an aggressive species finding its place. What's contained here is something far more dangerous." She pointed to a panel displaying energy readings. "Entropy incarnate. A force that doesn't just destroy, it unravels existence itself, making it so things never were." Zixthra's translator struggled with the concept. "Never were? Complete ontological erasure. If this entity ever escaped, it wouldn't just end the universe. It would retroactively prevent the universe from ever existing. Every civilization that ever lived, every thought that was ever thought, every moment of joy or discovery, gone from the timeline itself." The ambassador stared at the readings. The containment field was holding, but barely. "How long have you been guarding this?" "Since before we were fully sapient. Our ancestors were chosen, modified, given the knowledge and tools by those who came before. Every human alive carries genetic modifications designed for one purpose, to serve as living keys to the containment system. We're not just guards, Ambassador. We are the lock." Dr. Chen's expression grew somber. "So when other species warn about Earth, they're not wrong. We are dangerous. We're a species literally bred for war, modified for violence, enhanced for conflict. But they miss the bigger picture." She gestured around the chamber. "All of that aggression, all of that darkness in our nature, it exists so we can be strong enough to keep something infinitely worse contained. Zixthara finally understood why every ancient warning about Earth said the same thing. Humanity wasn't the monster under the galactic bed. They were the ones keeping it locked away,